Welcome, guys. I'm David Aldridge, and thank you for joining me. Today, I'll be interviewing Jayne Turner. Jayne's the founder of Angel Vocal Academy, and Jayne provides a creative sanctuary for kids to develop confidence through learning how to sing, record, and also songwrite. Jayne is active in her local community, helping children find their true voice, helping to create greater relationships in the community through her commitment and inspiration. Today, Jayne will be sharing with us how she coaches kids with sometimes little confidence to super confident kids who can take to the stage effortlessly and with complete self belief. So, hi, Jayne, and welcome
Hi.
to today. So,
Hi.
Jayne, I would love for you to start or tell us which part of the world you are in. And I'd love for you to share some story and journey and some of the emotions and maybe struggles you experienced as a kid learning how to sing.
Okay. Well, I'm based near to Manchester. It's 30 minutes from Manchester, but it's also 50 minutes from Stockport. So it's in a little town called Staley Bridge. And I was brought up in Ardenshire. And when I was young, I just sang all the time naturally, basically. I just used to sing along to the TV, musicals, anything that I could. And it was different back then because there was no like internet or anything, but we just like listen to tapes. So I'd always record like the hits and the top 40. And I attended dance classes, and it was my dance teacher at Nicholson Academy is in Droylsden, and it was my dance teacher Brenda who inspired me really with my vocals, and my dad, that I had a voice basically. And from there I just went to do singing a lot at school and did music GCSE. And my music teacher was brilliant from Fairfield High School, Mrs. Sharples, and she was just so inspiring and really believed in me. And it was just so important to have them really solid figures there to kind of, yeah, you can do this, and just pushing you. So I found that really inspiring from a young age, and wanted to do that myself then when I got to a certain level in my
Jayne,
in my Mhm.
what was it like for you as a kid having, say, an inspiring figure growing up? How did that help you?
Well, it encouraged me to believe, because I was quite shy, and although I loved singing, I just found it very, very daunting, and I didn't you can't really know those feelings at such a young age. You don't know why you feel like that. So they just made me feel stronger to perform in front of others, and to give me security, really, to get on stage, help me to anything like lyric learning, these like strategies, and they just helped me. They just really did. I wouldn't be doing what I do now without that, really, which
And
is a
me,
great
me, me
thing.
too. I
Yeah.
believe it's for children. It's a really powerful thing to have somebody there who believes in you like 100% that
Yeah.
you can do it. And for me,
Mhm.
um, there's some great teachers who just stand out who've coached me as a kid, and and for me personally, I love to give that back and share
Me
that, and
too.
it's a very powerful thing, and and
Hmm.
and and I love seeing children develop that that confidence, that inner belief, that inner confidence
Yeah.
as they
To me.
master something. It's really
Hmm.
wonderful to
Hmm.
see. So brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Is there any struggles? I know as a teacher, and I teach as well a guitar. You teach vocals and coach vocals. That sometimes students can see that you play guitar or you sing, and you're pretty awesome at it, and they just think that happened. This God talent. But for me, it was like blood, sweat, and tears. Were there any struggles that you encountered on your journey to where you are now as a singer?
Oh yeah, loads. Absolutely loads, even down to sometimes my own family, saying get a proper job, or, what you're doing that for. And then people as well, they don't mean it. I just think it's kind of fear from them that you're not gonna be secure with a financial means and just get a real job where you can get consistent money. So I did go down that road at one point where I just thought I just have to do this to fit into society. So I did work in an office and did that for many years. But at the back of my mind, I was singing. It was just there. And it took a massive trauma in my life, basically, to change my whole life around, where I lost kind of my first boyfriend. And I just, at 20, decided to go and pursue a career in professionally in singing. And I secured it, and I went to join a touring show and hotels on the Isle of Wight. So it was just a massive jump from working in an office but it didn't just happen. I was learning lyrics. I had my headphones on. I was learning always. And I'd come in and other people would be going out and having a social life, and I was just, no, I know what I want to do. So you do have to kind of put it first for a few years, many years, but you do have to put it there. It's got to be every day. And I do try to tell the children that I coach, and I also help the teenage, just make it part of your life every day. Even if it's little chunks, 15 minutes every day, so you're not getting bored of it. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, I believe confidence comes through consistency.
Yeah,
I think we have different levels of confidence in our lives in certain areas. And I always believe the stuff that I'm more consistent at, I grow in confidence. So yeah, and I see that with kids as well. The ones who practice the most, who are more consistent in the lessons, who come each week, those are the super confident kids, So yeah, and just bringing it back, I always, you shared there, Jane, that you had this struggle, and then singing was in your heart, and you pushed through that, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I also believe sometimes our greatest struggles are also our greatest gifts. Yeah, I think that's really, really true. Yeah,
I think they just wake you up. They just wake you up when you're going through something and you just don't feel happy, or you just think that you're not fulfilling your kind of destiny or your soul purpose, or whatever you want to call it. But they just kind of put you on the right track. That's what's happening.
Definitely. Because we have goals that we can set, maybe taking a grade in voice or playing. But then I think we have soul goals as well, to nurture our soul, what's best for that. And it's great that you at such a young age, I guess at 20, discovered that, and you knew that, and you went for it, So I guess hopefully that resonates with some people who are going to watch this interview, that there might be some fear around that. But if you lean into that fear, that's when you discover your life journey. Yeah.
I mean, it happened to me previously. So in the teens, that time, I actually had a massive wake up as well, where I went and I just learnt guitar, and I had guitar lessons, and I went to dancing, and I was on the right path then. But then I had some issues with my health, which meant I had to go into hospital, and I had 2 major operations, and it kind of stopped me. And then that happened, and then 20 again, I kind of went and pursued my career as a performer, and not just singing, dancing, doing touring shows, meeting amazing people. And I just thought, wow, my life, it was just so good. I wouldn't be the person I am today without that, and the people I met when I was working on the Isle of Wight. They were lovely. So.
And for your students, that must be such a great inspiration, sharing that story, and I guess it helps them to step into that story as well, and gives them the courage and the things that they can take on, goals and take risks and just go for it, and have that life and really enjoy it, So that's amazing. Yeah.
Sorry.
Jane, I would love for us to now just jump into a few questions. Is that okay with you? Brilliant. Okay, so what I'd like to start with is for you to share a story. So here's the question. What has been one of your students' greatest achievements?
Well, there's many, so it's been hard to pinpoint. But one of my students came to me, most recent student, and she had zero confidence in her vocals, and she had a lovely voice. But I kept like reinforcing that message, even when she didn't want to hear it. You know, it can be quite uncomfortable when people are really low in self-esteem. But she had a lot of issues going on with her health, and we just, it's not only singing that I provide, it's confidence coaching as well during the lesson, and it's advice to help them push through any blocks to their learning, whatever they may be. So there's a lot of like, I give advice on vocal anatomy, I give advice on nutrition, even, you know, how to energize yourself, because energy is involved in any kind of singing, playing an instrument. You have to get your best in order to progress with it. So just switching her slightly, like positive mindset and relaxation exercises. And she's gone on, after it's near enough 2 years with me, she's going to do a degree now in singing, singer-songwriting, and not just the singing. She's developed with the songwriting, which she never thought she was a songwriter. And I was like, you are a songwriter, because she's so natural, and I just could hear and I could feel. So she writes melodies, and she said, but I don't write lyrics. But I said to her, there's always someone you can collaborate with. People tend to just think, oh, because I can't do all those things, but there's always ways to bring your art into the world. And she now believes it. She's brilliant. She's coming today. We're doing videos together. She used to say, no way will I ever do a video. So I see that as a massive success story.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. You know, and what emotions does that bring up for you as a teacher? You know, to see you've coached the student from maybe zero and now going to university and full of confidence and ready to take on the world. You know, that must bring up some really great emotions for you.
Yeah, just as I was talking about it, then I was feeling all like goosebumps and just all the good feelings of something that has been successful, and how she's going to go now and have a career, because she really didn't think she could. And I knew she could, but it's great that she's now believing that, you know. And I think as well, the transferable life skills. So everything that you can use in the singing and getting on stage and controlling nerves, controlling anything that comes into your head that's negative. You can take that into an interview situation, or they can take it when they have to do all the things you have to do if you want to step out and be a leader in the world. You do have to be able to speak confidently, and you do have to be able to just put yourself across in a relaxed manner. So she'll take them as well in other areas of her life, which I feel so
self-belief, eh? The power of self-belief.
Yeah, definitely. I know. So I hope she does really well. I'm sure she will.
Brilliant. That's amazing. Okay, Jane, let's move to another question. How do your students get to grow in confidence, and what does that look like? So if we was a fly in the wall in your studio, so to speak, and each week you're helping students with self-belief and confidence, what does that look like?
It can, you know, it's a step-by-step process where they come for the first lesson, and you just make them feel at ease, and you chat to them about the musical taste, I always ask them for a goal, you know, and we always say, what's your goal for 3 months, then what's your goal for 6 months, and what is the long-term goal? So we just never overwhelm. I never make people feel uncomfortable, because that's horrible. When you go to somebody, you're going to you set up a very trusting environment for your students. I always explain how I teach. I explain what I've done in my career, so they understand that, you know, it can be achieved. We go over things like the vocal exercises, and it's a step-by-step process. We'll start with the breathing. There's lots of breathing exercises, posture, how they stand, you know, body language, and then we can move on to the song choices. But it's always about like not overwhelming them, making them feel at ease, making them come out of their shell. It's not just about me dictating to them about things. They are involved, and I do encourage that a lot.
So, sounds like you create a really safe space for learning to happen, and it's trusting and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's
it's very,
wonderful.
yeah. Especially the children, because they're a bit nervous when they come in, and they just, as soon as they get on that mic, honestly, I can't keep them off it. So they absolutely love it. And then we do a lot of Disney as well with the kids, and just making it fun as well as learning and the structure of learning. But we do make it fun, and I inspire them to move and not just stand, rigid. It's all about that, really, making them come out of the shell.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And do you also work where these children can get qualifications if they'd like to? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I offer.
Yeah.
I've done that for many years. I've been teaching LCM, which is London College of Music, from grade 1 to 8, and I've even done diploma level, which is like a higher level. If students want to teach, I do encourage. I offer any students that has shown that dedication and has shown that they are really serious about it. I offer them apprenticeships with me, and that's something that's been great. One girl did it for about 6 months, and she's gone on to uni now, and she's moved away. But it's something that she could have to do as a part-time job, around her uni work, just like coaching. So yeah, it's basically, it's a really good thing.
For sure. Yeah. Know, in my own teaching, most of the kids choose to do the grades. They love the songs that they learn, and it's a positive impact once they get that certificate. They're like, let's do the next one, and it's like a snowball effect. Yeah.
They do, like, because everybody comes with different musical tastes. So they do the LCM, which is the musical theatre exam, and then I'll do the Trinity Rock School and the Rock and Pop, which is for people who want to sing mainly, contemporary. So, and it just sets them on their path, to be honest, whatever they want to do. And getting that certificate, and if they get a distinction, and then they can put it in a frame, and I'm proud if I do something like that. So it's great to offer it. I always encourage them to do exams always.
Brilliant. Jane, let's move on to the next question. So, okay, here we go. So, I think we've covered this question actually. So I'm going to move on to the next one, because I think you've answered this question from the previous one. So let's go on to number 4. So what new skills, or what's the number one skill, should we say, that your students gain from taking lessons? Obviously, we've pointed out that they get to learn like a big repertoire of songs, but if you could just think of one major takeaway that a student gets from spending years with you in the vocal.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to one thing, but I'd say raise self-esteem, faith in themselves, faith in their ability to learn. So if it's one word you're looking for, I guess it is confidence, isn't it? So they do really, because they're on stage, and as I've said in a prior question that you asked, they can take that to other situations in their life where they feel shaky. If ever they feel intimidated in any situation, they can remember what I've taught them, how to be calm, and fake it till you make it. I always say, just fake it till you make it. We all feel a bit like that sometimes. It's just human nature. But just don't be so hard on themselves, and just self-belief, confidence.
So courage came out there.
Yeah,
courage leaning into fears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read, before I started on my journey, the first book I read was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And that was it changed my life, that book. So I always say, do some reading. You've got to really want it. You've got to do a bit of work on yourself if you're suffering with any anxiety or shyness, but it can be overcome.
So we say mindset work. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for people who've been in an environment where the family's taught them that, but everybody comes from different environments, and some people have come from an environment maybe where they've not been shown that, or they've not been able to shine, and maybe they've had a talent and they've never been encouraged to use it, or they might have been told they've had one bad experience. I've had that as well. I've had people come to me who've had a bad experience where they've got up and then they've had a meltdown, or they've got the lyrics, or and then it stopped them. So I just try to shrink that in the mind to something that's not painful for them anymore. So it's like a learning curve. We've all had experience. I've had experience on stage where something's happened, it does. But if you can keep it together and just keep calm, the audience actually don't mind, but it's just learning that, really.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Have you ever had a student who's been a bit shy and come for singing lessons, they've grown in confidence, become, good in their ability to sing, and then maybe they've done like a school show or for family and friends, and everyone's just gone, wow, they're like super talented. Yeah.
I get that a lot. I'm coaching a little girl who comes, and her mum sent me some audio of her daughter singing amazingly well, and she said, I cannot believe it. She would not sing in front of us. She's about 8, and I think she's just had a baby, so she's 9. But she was just, I'm not singing in front of you, not. And she was just proud to sing in front and just show now. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. I guess that's like the ultimate, isn't it? Because they get to showcase how talented they are.
Yeah.
And
pride in the parents, and just, it's lovely. It's lovely to get them using their voices instead of like thinking, oh, I'm not as good as that person, and I'm not as good as that. I always say, you've got your own voice, you've got your own style, you've got your own gifts to show. What you're going to do, just not show. You might help people, you might inspire other people. So, yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And from what I see, like, from teaching kids, I'll teach one kid. And then this kid grows in confidence. He gets really competent. His guitar playing becomes awesome, like an awesome guitar player. Then his friends see that, or other parents see that, and then and then they almost become an inspiration or a leader. And then the other children want to do it, And it's like, so they become like an inspiring figure themselves, just through kind of like leaning into that fear, giving it a go, and being committed to the learning. I see that all the time, and that's
definitely
amazing.
Just happened to me. I had one girl, and now I've got 2 other girls from her class, so they've just been so inspired by her, and now they want to do it, and it's great.
Brilliant. It's really great to see. I absolutely love that, because it just shows how that student's growing, and like you say, in the leadership and the confidence, self-belief, and it radiates into the universe,
This is what we're trying to do, aren't we? Anybody who's kind of ever had times where they've just sat back and thought, this doesn't feel right, we're trying to bring that, we're trying to raise that vibration, I think, so people are not like oppressed and feeling sad. Who wants to feel sad? So just trying to lift that energy.
It's what we do as artists,
Yeah.
It's the artist's job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, Jane, I've got one last question for you here, and I know we was talking maybe a week or so ago, and you was telling me a really funny story about you was actually giving somebody a singing lesson, and they was actually in their car. So, if you could expand, have you got any more funny stories that you'd love to share? Please do.
I think it's just come off the back of Carfield karaoke, hasn't it? But I've often thought, wouldn't it be funny to run singing lessons like they do in that show, and just like have people singing in the car and just expressing the joy of singing? I mean, she wasn't like, she was sat in the back seat and her mum was, parts up. So, but it was a bit of a strange one. And I had one a few weeks ago as well, where it was on Zoom, and I'm teaching someone down in Cornwall, love Cornwall, and they were having a party in the garden, and we had like, uncle in the background doing YMCA. And I got them to all join in. It was just a bit of light-hearted fun. Not every lesson's like that, but it's got to be fun. So all manner of things can go on, especially on Zoom.
Yeah. I get to meet lots of people's pets, on Zoom. Maybe family members I've never met. So it's it
can be interesting. And then you get shown around the rooms as well. Like, I've got a little girl I teach, and she shows me all the paintings that she's created. And then I had to choose the best one, and then I chose one her mum did, and she was like, well, my mum did that one. It's just showing off thing. Well, just like getting involved in the other arts that they do and the drawings and getting shown all around the house, you know, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice guided tour of the house, eh?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Jane, it's been really great speaking with you today. And thank you for sharing all your insights. You've been teaching for how long?
15 years. Whoa.
15 years,
But
wow.
I've been singing professionally for 20. So
20.
songwriting myself. So yeah. A lot of years.
So Jane, if I was a student or if I was looking to get singing lessons, how would I reach out to you, or how would a student reach out to you who was looking to take lessons?
You can look for me on Yell. I'm on the top of Yell. It's the Angel Studio or the Angel Vocal Academy. And if you type it in Google, it usually comes up as well. So that's local to the area, really. But if anybody wanted to just from a different area do Zoom lessons, you can just Google it and my number should come up. Facebook, I'm on as the Angel Vocal Academy as well, if you just wanted to type that. But I'll put a link at the bottom of the video with my details in, so if people want to get in touch, they can do.
And we was talking about that you also have an online course that's arriving soon. Yeah. Would you like to share a little bit about that, Jane?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's kind of everything I've faced in my coaching career, 15 years, condensed into an 8-week program that I have proven works. That's the way I coach now, but it's at a lot of, cheaper price, so people can actually have the coaching, and it's not like they have to have all this money to pay for loads of lessons. So it's quite, it's within budget. It's called the Confident Singer Method, and it's going to be coming very soon. So I'll include a link to that as well. I've got that link.
Fantastic. And I can also, once that arrives, I'll also share that on my Facebook page for people who are looking to get into singing.
Yeah. Just do it, because it's not just for singers, it's for people who want to use their voice on stage, and it's for songwriters as well. It's for songwriters who want to sing their own songs. And it's a very in-depth, it's not just you do get all the vocal exercises and everything and to strengthen the voice, but it's all the video tutorials are on there, and all about how you can improve your confidence as well. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So you get to build more confidence, self-belief, and learning singing at the same time. That sounds absolutely amazing,
Yeah. So I'm hoping to inspire people to just not give up if they've had bad experiences and things.
Fantastic. Jane, it's been absolutely amazing speaking to you today. And thank you for joining us on this interview today. I'm sure you've inspired hundreds of people or thousands of people who are going to watch this video. All right, Jane.
Thank you so much. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye.